Yo, what's good guys? Welcome back to another video where today we'll be speaking about the Game Week 13 Premier League matches. And as you probably know, we will be predicting each match as well. So the Prem is finally back after, almost everyone hates international break. So I'm excited the Prem is back. And let's get straight into the first game. We have Manchester City versus Liverpool, starting with a huge game, probably the biggest game this weekend. So let's start with Man City. They're doing fairly well this season, top of the league. The team is playing pretty well as well. On to Liverpool, another team that is balling out. Van Dijk, in my opinion, is back to his best, and Sabalasai has been a very good signing for Liverpool. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between the two. Now we move on to Sheffield versus Bournemouth. This should be a very good game, so let's start with Sheffield. They have picked up some form recently. Actually, they beat Wolves 2-1. That's a surprising result, very close to getting out of the relegation zone as well. And on to Bournemouth. Their opponents been playing not too bad, managed to beat Newcastle 2-0. A underrated team, in my opinion, to be fair. And my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Bournemouth. Now we move on to Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. Yet another great game. So let's start with Nottingham Forest. They have been doing okay, definitely a underrated team. Cooper may have something cooking, to be fair, at that club. And on to Brighton, one of the best teams in England, in my opinion, plays such nice football. And De Zerbi is linked to Manchester United if Erik ten Hag leaves. Well, that's some rumors I've been hearing. So my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Brighton. Now we have Burnley versus West Ham. This should be a fairly easy game for West Ham, in my opinion. So let's start with Burnley. They've been struggling this season. They have only won one single game this season, and Company has to do something with this team. Like, if they want to get out of that relegation zone, you gotta fix something up. On to West Ham. They have been doing decent. Sit in 9th place at the moment in the Prem, which is pretty good. And their standout player, in my opinion, has been James Ward-Prowse. He has been great. A great signing for them. My prediction is going to be a 3-0 win for West Ham. Now we move on to Luton Town versus Crystal Palace. This will be a pretty good matchup. Let's start with Luton Town. Been a hard season for them, if we're being honest. They did have a good performance versus Liverpool, and I have a feeling their form will start to get better and better. And on to Crystal Palace, another team that is doing not too bad. They lost to Everton 3-2 actually before the international break. And I would say the team is going through like a rough patch at the moment, but I see Crystal Palace coming out of that rough patch and winning 2-0. Now we have another game that's one of the biggest games this weekend. We have Newcastle versus Chelsea, a massive game this weekend. So let's start with Newcastle. They are struggling with injuries, and they did lose to Bournemouth 2-0, as I mentioned before, and that was a huge disappointment for Newcastle. Onto Chelsea, they are actually picking up their form recently. They drew with Manchester City 4-4, and they beat Spurs 4-1 before playing Man City. Now my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Chelsea. Now we move on to Brentford versus Arsenal. Should be a good game. So let's start with Brentford. They're doing not too bad this season. They actually beat Chelsea 2-0 a few weeks back. And I thought Embuemo was like 30 or something, and this guy's like 24. So that's a surprising fact to me. Onto Arsenal, they're doing well this season. I would say Raya will be playing against his former club, well, he's on loan, so his club that he'll be going back to possibly if Arsenal don't buy him. And Martinelli has been playing fantastic for us. Definitely one of the best players this season for us. And my prediction is actually going to be a 3-2 win for Arsenal. Now we move on to Tottenham versus Aston Villa, another fantastic game. So let's start with Tottenham. They have been great this season, but Maddison and Van de Ven are injured, and they lost to Chelsea in their last game where those players got injured. They lost 4-1. On to Aston Villa, a team who has been great, doing very well this season, currently in a Europa League spot in 5th place in the Premier League. But I see this game ending like a 1-1 draw. Now we move on to the second last game, Everton versus Manchester United. This could be a interesting game if I'm being honest. So let's start with Everton. Been on form recently and received a 10-point deduction due to breaking the financial fair play rules, and they just are one win away from getting out of the relegation zone. And on to Man United. They've been doing okay, but struggling as well, to be fair. If Ten Hag loses this game, surely I think he either gets sacked or I think he should leave if he loses. But Højlund is actually yet to score in the Premier League. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Everton. And the last and final game we have is Fulham versus Wolves. I see this game being pretty tight. So let's start with Fulham. I would say been struggling recently. Adama is going to be facing his former club. This should be a fight for them. On to Wolves. This team is doing pretty decent. They managed to beat Tottenham 2-1, and they've been in good form in recent matches. So they could go ahead and win this game. And I put them to win this game 2-1 for Wolves. Now, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below your predictions, and I will check them out. And don't forget to subscribe as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.